Welcome to Global Insiders Podcast. I am Ryan, the peripatetic one, bringing you information about opportunities relating to jobs, traveling, and any information that can elevate you to your rightful place in this thing called life. You can find more information and how-to methods on globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. And here is today's show. Hello insiders, welcome to the show. Last week I interviewed Stephanie who spoke about Japan, and this week I want to continue along those lines. I want to talk about money. Yes, money. So I know that you are definitely interested in listening to this week's episode. So, how much money can an LT make in Japan? Moving to Japan can be a fantastic experience, as we have learned from many persons so far. In episode 14 and episode 16, episode 23 and episode 29. So if you haven't listened to those episodes yet, please go back and do so. They are quite informative. However, I'm sure many of you are asking, how much money can you make in Japan? Answer, as much as you are willing to work for. The truth is, money can be a mystery, and it is the same in Japan. Let me explain this some more. If you have never wondered why some people have money and others don't, kudos to you. But industries are built around teaching people about how to make money. So I have no shame in admitting that I'm curious about money. But I do not want to stray too much from the point. What I'm saying is, if you know how to make money, you will make money in Japan. And if you don't, well, you will get the salary that you sign up for. The law in Japan states that companies must pay you at least minimum wage, so you will not be working for free. As we speak, today the low rate is 230,000 yen. If a company is hiring you for less than this, please reconsider your move. This works out to about $2,050 a month. But this, however, is not always the same. I will talk about this later. On the high side, some companies might pay 280,000 yen. And if you are really lucky, you can get 300,000 yen each month. The company that hires you will state this as your monthly salary. However, in most cases, you will be working per diem. Therefore, you get paid daily. So if you don't work, you don't get paid for that day. This can get very interesting when school is on break in summer, winter, and spring. During these months, you get a percentage of your regular pay. This is not a hidden thing. By the way, the companies explain this in your contract. Factors to consider. 2 factors to consider because they can change your pay rate are where you will live and who you are working for. If you live in a rural area, you are likely to get less than a person who is in the city. Likely, right? But the biggest factor that affects pay rate is most certainly the organization that you are working for. If you are a direct hire by the city education board, you will usually be paid a higher salary than if you are working with a dispatch company or recruiting company. The only problem is city boards do not hire from outside of Japan. You will have to get to Japan via the recruiting company. So these companies, they recruit persons from English-speaking countries to come to Japan. There are not that many of them, to be honest. When you come to Japan, there are many jobs in Japan. It's easy to see 500 jobs on job boards. For example, if you go to Gaijin Pot during the December to April period, you will see hundreds of jobs being advertised for teachers. So those companies, however, not all of them will go outside of Japan searching for teachers. But if you are in Japan, it is possible to work with those companies. So do not be deterred by that. So you'll have to get to Japan via these recruiting companies, and that's where I guess you will have to start off with a low salary. But if you're considering to move to Japan, don't worry. Japan has a dwindling population, and the Japanese are constantly looking into ways to improve immigration, because they're trying to get immigrants in to help with their of course, to work, really. So there are definitely possibilities and opportunities available. I have met all types of foreigners in Japan, people who make 230,000 and are happy, and those who make 230 and can't wait to leave. In between those persons are persons who have started their own private lessons and make an extra 10 to 50,000 a month, or persons who work a second job that brings in an extra 100,000 yen each month. And you have some persons who do all three: regular job, second job, and private classes with their own students. What about living expenses? Well, this too will vary greatly from person to person. Japan is a country that has a vast disparity between rich and poor lifestyles. You can see a Louis Vuitton store a stone throw away from a convenience store that sells a filling meal for less than $5. In other words, the rich and poor are intertwined in Japan. For a deeper look at life expenses in Japan, go over to www.expatistan.com. That's www.expatistan.com. So EXPATISTAN. That is EXPATISTAN.com. If you have even more questions about what the lifestyle in Japan is like, feel free to email me at ryan@globalinsidersgroup.com. That is ryan@globalinsidersgroup.com. So, in concluding, I will reiterate that the amount of money that you make really depends upon you and the specific goals that you have. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to check out the other episodes. I have interviewed people about life in Canada, France, United States, and Japan. You may also find further information about working in Japan as an ALT at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is globalinsidersgroup.com. And that is insiders with an S. Thank you, and continue being the great person that you are. Thanks for listening today. I hope you are inspired. You can find more helpful and motivational material at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. You can also keep in touch at Global Insiders on Instagram. See you next time, but remember, you can be your own superhero. Bye.